As far as why I want to help nurses continue to believe in nursing is because somewhere in my head, the evolution of a nurse goes from service to a hero's journey to a healer. Hopefully when you come into it, you want to help people, but you haven't got a clue how, and school really doesn't tell you what it's really like, and you're completely unprepared for the intimacy, for the joy and the horror that really touching another human being can do to and for you. I think it's because I believe it takes enormous courage to be a nurse. I think it takes enormous heart. I think it takes some of the passion for life that we're losing in life now. It's one of the things I believe, you know, like when you see the, this is going to be an extinct species unless we value it and honor it and try to save it. For me, that's what nursing is. Because you can't take a nurse who's a real healer and put that nurse in a corporation with a bottom line. I understand the nature of business. I understand the nature of corporations. And I think, whether I agree with them or not, if they have to deal with the bottom line, that's what they have to deal with. But the bottom line for a nurse who is taking a hero's journey to be a healer, whose end game is helping patients and other people, who sees the connection between themselves and any other in this world. If we don't hang on to it, hold on to it, nurture it, acknowledge it, and nourish it in any way possible, I think that nursing is going to become extinct. The kind of nursing that I've always known and loved, the kind that keeps people from feeling isolated and alone. I think we become more as nurses because we then become the tools that help the healing. We then, whoever we are, each of us, is enough to help another person through a very hard time. It's sort of like, you know, when you see a beautiful, beautiful sunset and it's orange and pink and purple, and you look at it and you say, man, only a God could make that sunset. Sometimes when you hear an absolutely exquisite voice, you say, that's a voice that only an angel could have, or only a... When you see a nurse who is truly a healer, you can hear and see God in another. And I fear we're losing that in this world, the importance of each of us in time as we are, as well as historically over time. I think we forget sometimes that when they say things like no man is an island or anything, when you're feeling sick and weak and helpless and vulnerable, you don't want to be talking to a computer. You don't want a robot to take care of you. That's all body mechanics. And any real healing that goes on, aside from the mechanics of it, go on the level of spirit and soul, and those levels can't be touched except by another human being, whether it's a doctor or a nurse. It's just that nurses have had both the responsibility and the luxury of being close enough to the patients to use themselves as tools rather than as mechanics for this time. And it's at this time that I see a shift that some people call progress, and I think of it as stepping way back to before I had the luxury of taking that journey toward healing.